Coming up today on That LTD Life, I'm going to be trying out ZCal. This is a brand new scheduling tool, just hit AppSumo. It's very similar to something like Calendly, where you can set up a calendar and have people book appointment times with you. You can charge for it. I'm going to show you all of the features in this video. But first, let's look at what it's going to cost us because it's currently just $49. That is a one-time payment, and that price is increasing in 4 days and 15 hours. So after you watch the video and you decide if this is a good fit for your business, make sure you jump on it quickly in order to lock in the best deal. I'm Dave, by the way, and this is not a sponsored video. I just make these LTD reviews every single day of the week. So if you want to support my content, just click my link below before making any purchases over at AppSumo. That way I can review new LTDs every single day. Okay, so here are the plan details for ZCal. We'll look at these. They're actually really generous. So 3 different tiers available. Really, all you need to do is think about how many users you have, how many employees are in your business, and then choose the plan that corresponds with that. All of the other features are available on every single plan. That's really generous because I don't think any other LTD for scheduling has included team features until you get to at least tier 2. Even AppSumo's own ZCal has an individual plan, and then if you want team features, you need to go up to their agency plan, which is still a good deal, $79. But yeah, you can't really beat 3 users for $49. Now, all of this is moot if ZCal is not any good. Well, spoiler alert, it's actually really good. It's missing a few things I'd like to see, but overall, it's a great experience. Now, with ZCal, you're looking at the interface here. You get kind of this design first interface. They really want to make the design of the actual booking page very nice and distinct. Whereas I feel like with most other tools, everybody's kind of just trying to replicate what Calendly does so well. Okay, I'm going to show you what a booking page looks like on ZCal, and then we'll work backwards from there. And I'll show you how to actually build them, how the team features work, and all of that. So first of all, let's load up a booking page. I've actually created this one here called Discovery Call. I can click right here to copy the link and I'll open it up in a private window. Okay, so here is my booking page. You can see I've got a video playing in the background. I've got the picker over here. There's also a very nice stylized background image, and all of the colors and everything here are completely customizable as well. I'll get into how to do that momentarily, but let's just go through the booking process. You can see what this is going to be like and whether it's something you'd want to use for your customers to book with you. So I'm going to choose a day here and choose a time. Now I want to note that this is fully responsive. So here is responsive web mode. I can actually resize the interface here. And if I reload the page, there we go. You can see I've got the video at the top. I've got my picker down here. And then all of the different options are still looking really good. Even on a super small, this would be a very small mobile phone. Here's more of like a tablet view for comparison. And now let's exit this and I'll just complete the booking so you can see the entire process. Okay, so back to scheduling our appointment. I'm just gonna choose a day, a time, enter in some information. On my booking page, I went ahead and added in a custom question here. I'll show you how to do that, but it's just a radio picker here so I can choose my monthly marketing budget. That was the question I set up. I added the ability to allow guests. So if I wanted to book a call with someone and they wanted to make sure their colleague was coming along, they could easily do that and then enter in the guest email address right here. But we're gonna leave that blank for now. And let's just go ahead and schedule this meeting. Notice there is branding down here. You can also turn this off. We'll take a look at that momentarily. Okay, so my meeting is now scheduled. As the user booking the appointment, if I wanted to add this to my calendar, I could do so right here. So now back over in my administration view, I've got my upcoming events right here. I have not reloaded this page yet. And now that I have, you can see the appointment that we just scheduled right here. Now, I can go ahead and reschedule this. I can view the event details, or I could just cancel it if I'd like. Of course, I also get an email confirmation when the appointment's booked with all of the necessary details. This call could take place on Zoom or Google Meet, but for now, I just set it up to be a phone number. Okay, so now you know what it looks like from the customer's point of view. Now let's cover it from the administrator's point of view. What's it like to actually create appointment types here? What can you do? Can you connect up payment processors? Let's get into all of those questions right now. I'm gonna start off with just simple, one-on-one type of appointments or personal appointment types. All right, so that's gonna be listed right over here where it says My Invites. I can create a new appointment type right up here where it says new link. So let's do that right now. Now I want to create this appointment for myself, but there is the option to create team appointments as well. I'm going to skip that for now. We'll come back to that later on. So I'm creating a link for me. Now, if I had other team members listed here, I could create appointment types for them as well. So Dave Swift, now I've got 3 different types of appointments that I can create. A one-on-one appointment, which is exactly what it sounds like. There is also group invites. It says this is best for things like booking webinars and classes. So the idea is obviously that multiple people can book with you at the exact same time. Then the third option is a meeting poll. This is going to ask everyone when they're available. You can even connect up your calendars and it will try to find the best time available for something like a conference call or a team meeting. Let's keep it simple here and just set up a one-on-one invite. I'll click into this and let's give it a name. All right, I'm going to call it performance review, and then I can set up a location. Here I can add in my Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, or custom text if you want to add something like a physical address or a phone number to call. Now you do need to set this up prior to creating your link. So because I've not connected Zoom, if I click on this, I just get an error message offering me the ability to go ahead and connect up to Zoom right here, which I'm not going to do right now, but you could do so if you host your meetings on Zoom. Instead, I'll just enter in a fake address here and proceed to the next step. All right, so I've got my location set up to be a physical address, but I can give people an option. So maybe I'd like for them to be able to choose online or in person. Well, then I could go ahead and proceed through the same steps again, just choosing an online meeting platform as an option, or maybe entering your phone number in as a secondary option. So here are our 2 choices, and when someone's scheduling their appointment, they'll be able to select whichever one works better for them. You can enter in a description of the appointment type right here, and then we've got our custom URL. So I can set this up to be a custom slug. This is a performance review, so maybe I'll just call it performance-review and hit apply. Now you might notice that my URL is zcal.co/swift. That's my username I set up during the onboarding, and then /performance review because it's specifically for this appointment type. The one thing I can't change is the zcal.co, meaning that there is no custom domains or no CNAME available for this tool. Probably one of the few downsides to using this tool in my opinion. Next up is the design options, and this is where ZCal really tries to stand out and shine a little bit. We've got 3 different layout choices, and then we can customize the overall look, all of the colors, the background images coming up. Now our 3 options are this contained option, meaning that everything is kind of squished together. We also have full width, where it will basically expand to the size of your monitor. I don't personally like that so much. And then the third option is a cover photo, where basically we have a photo on the top and our booking options down below. This is their legacy design option, so it honestly does look a little bit more dated compared to the other 2 choices. I would usually opt for contained. I think that's going to look best in most cases. Although keep in mind, like I mentioned before, these are all mobile responsive, so it really doesn't matter which one you choose. People will be able to book regardless of what device they're on. Next up, we have our theme, and this is really the main visual component of the actual booking experience. Now, there are some themes built in here. You can go ahead and just pick whichever one kind of is a good starting place for you, and then customize it with your own brand colors afterwards. So let's say you wanted a dark look. Maybe you go with this option right up here, hit submit, and then you can go back and click on this pencil icon and add in all of your brand colors, maybe adding a background image in if you like. There are a plethora of fonts available. It looks like every Google font is available. I mean, it's literally like you could scroll all day before you hit to the end of this list. So those are all there for your picking. No way to upload your own custom font, unfortunately. We have color options here for our text, our accent text, button background, page background, content background, and then we can also set the background opacity here, 1 being solid and then 0 being transparent. All right, I'm just gonna change the color of my buttons here and my button text. All right, let's hit submit and we'll preview this to check out what it actually looks like. Oh, before we do that, there's also the ability to add in what they call a story image or a story video. And this is a really nice touch. So I'm gonna click right here and I'll just upload a video. So I'll click on select video. Now, if I'd like to, I could grab one from Pexels, but I highly recommend just taking a second, recording a little introductory video on your phone. That'll go a long way and really make your booking page stand out. I think so often we have all of our marketing on our website and then link over to something like Calendly, and it's a little disconnected. It's not as personal feeling. So adding an image, maybe describing what's going to be included in the meeting, especially if you're charging for it, which you can do with this tool, by the way. It's a nice little opportunity to really close the deal, get people to sign up for booking with you. So highly recommend doing that. I recorded a short video prior to hitting record here, so I'm gonna go ahead and upload that right now. All right, so it's uploading, transcoding, and there we go. This is my video. So if I wanted to reframe this, because I recorded in 16:9, but it is going to display in more like a 9:16 view. So if I wanted to reframe this, there is a focal point. This will work on images as well. So I can choose where I want the center of the video to be. Let's say it was over here. You're gonna see if I hit save, it's actually going to frame the video up over there. So instead of that, I will put it right square on my forehead and hit save. And there we go. Now I'm in the center of the frame. This is really nice. Even if you're recording on your phone in landscape view, you can actually make sure that you're in the center of the video, making it look a lot more professional. So a really cool little touch there. We can also put a little frame around our video. So by default, it does have this kind of rounded corners, type of frame. We could make it be more of an arch if we like. I'll choose that just to see what it looks like and go ahead and hit next. All right, we're almost done with creating our link here. We just want to set our event duration as well as the slot increments, choose how far into the future people can book with us, and then go ahead and set up our availability. Now, I already have my availability set up to be 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, so it's kind of choosing that as my default, but I could set custom hours here if I wanted to override it on a single appointment type. But it's nice because you can set it up once and then create multiple appointments, and it's not going to nag you every single time to actually enter in those same availability hours. It does remember that, so that's great. In addition to setting up regular hours, you can set up your date specific hours. So let's say you want to take Christmas Day off, you can enter that in here and you'll be good to go. Furthermore, if you connect up your calendar, you can actually have it block external events. So it will look at your calendar and see if you've got anything scheduled outside of this tool and not make those times available. So that's really nice, and it is on by default. You just have to make sure you take the step of actually connecting up your calendar. It will have two-way sync there, by the way. So if someone books an appointment with you, it will automatically show up on your calendar as long as you use one of their compatible providers, which we'll talk about momentarily. Okay, so my appointment type is looking pretty good here. I'm gonna click on next, and just a few more options before we actually create our link. So the first one is custom questions. This is where I set up that radio selector earlier on. We can add a custom question in. So we've got name and email that is required, but we can add in other options. So, I've got my location picker here as well, but I could add in another option like what's your phone number, have a checkbox, a short text, long text, you get the idea. So I'll just say like, what would you like to discuss? Choose whether or not this is required, and then either go ahead and add in another question or just proceed to finishing up, which is what I'm gonna do. I'll hit apply here and we'll just go through the rest of the questions. We've got an intro that it's going to display. I can show this on my profile page, which I've not talked about yet, but every user on your team has a profile page with the different appointment types that they offer. That is listed. And we also have a team profile page, so a lot more to cover here. We have a max number of events. Let's say I only want to do 3 per day as the default. You can set that up. That's actually a pretty good idea. You don't want to overwhelm yourself with meetings. Then we've got minimum notice. So you could set up to be 24 hours and need at least a day's notice before scheduling an appointment. I think that's very reasonable. And then we can set up our buffer time between the actual appointments. All right, the last section here is our scheduling options. Basically, this is gonna be things like email reminders. There's only one reminder set up by default. So if you wanna add in additional reminders, you can definitely do so. Just say, okay, 3 days before, and I want a reminder to go out. I can click edit here and actually edit what the actual email will look like. There are these placeholders to personalize everything. So very simple and customizable. We can customize the name of the appointment. So by default, it's going to be the 2 names of the people involved in the meeting. So myself here, along with whoever scheduled it with me. And then you saw earlier when I allowed guests, you can toggle that on and off right here. And we can also set up a redirect. If after someone books, we want them to go to a custom thank you page, you could do that. It does connect up with Stripe, so you'll need to do that before turning this on. Okay, we're looking pretty good here. I'm gonna hit create invite, and let's go ahead and check this out. But of note, before we do that, you can actually go ahead and embed this right on your website if you like. So I mentioned earlier, there are no custom domain names. Not a huge deal if you just embed this right on your website. That way no one ever has to like leave your actual domain. But for now, let's go ahead and copy the link and we'll see what this looks like. All right, here is the booking page. You can see the rounded arc here at the top, but everything else looks fairly simple and clean cut. We've got our custom color that I added in. If I go to the next section, I'm going to see my questionnaire right here. And we do still have that ZCal branding. And I do think you can remove this, at least on the team page, you definitely can. So let me dig a little bit deeper here. Yeah, so here we are inside of the account settings. So just click on your user avatar in the upper right-hand corner, click on account, and then go down here to remove ZCal branding, toggle that on. And now if I go back over to my booking page, there we go, our branding is all cleaned up. Looks much better in my opinion. Nothing against the ZCal branding, but it kind of conflicted with the custom colors that I set up. So yeah, I definitely would remove it if possible. And it is possible, so cool. All right, let's talk about availability. That is a link right up here on the top. That's where we set up our regular availability so we don't have to do it over and over again. So click here, add in the days that you want to be available, and you can add in those date-specific hours here. So let's say, I don't know, I want to be off on Valentine's Day. I could add that in and maybe just say, you know, I am only available for 15 minutes in the morning, something like that. Or I could just mark it as unavailable completely if I prefer that. And there we go. Now I'm unavailable on that specific day. Now, as I mentioned before, we will want to connect up our calendar if possible. That way we won't have people booking appointments during other things we have going on in our life. And if anyone does book an appointment, it will show up on your regular calendar. To do so, just click right up here, connect your calendar, and then you can choose Add Calendar Connection and choose between either Google Calendar or Outlook. Now, unfortunately, I don't use either of these platforms, so that is a real downside to me. Calendars are an open internet protocol, so I am always disheartened when I see only options for the big businesses, the Microsofts and the Googles. That kind of stinks. They should add in the protocol that kind of founded all of this that they're based on. That's probably the simplest one to support as well. So yeah, unfortunately, I can't do that. So griping aside, I know most of you are probably using one of these two anyway. While we're talking about calendar integrations, let's talk about the other integrations that are available. We already talked about Zoom, Google Meet, and Microsoft Teams. This is where you connect them up. We're just under account settings. Again, go up to your user avatar, go to account, and then on the integrations page, you can connect up your conferencing platform of choice. We also have automations from Zapier. You can connect up your Stripe account right here to charge for your appointments, and then set up your analytics with Google or Meta Pixel so you can see how your ad campaigns are doing if you're trying to maybe run ads to book appointments. One final nice touch in terms of integrations is contacts integrations. So this was a little bit peculiar to me, but then I thought about it and it's actually really nice. If you add a contact integration with Google or Outlook, well, then when one of your existing contacts goes to book with you, it will autocomplete for them because it already knows who they are. I think that's really smart and yeah, just kind of makes the user experience better for those booking appointments with you. Now you also get your own profile page. Let's go ahead and check this out. Mine is right here. This is my username that I set up during onboarding. I can click on this to preview what it looks like. I've got my user avatar up here, as well as the different appointment types that I have available, as well as the locations they're at, how long the appointments are. So overall, a very nice, simple, clean interface. Now I could even put a video on this page if I wanted to. Let's jump back over here. And all I need to do is click into my account, go over to my profile page right here, and I can change all of the same options we saw when creating the link, but this time it's only gonna apply to that profile page. So I can add in a welcome message, change my theme over here, add a video, and then even choose the different types of appointments that are visible on this page. By the way, this page is also embeddable on your website. So just right over here, click on this, you'll get your embed code. Just copy and paste it into your website to embed it. Okay, so everything you've seen so far is related to my personal booking. So if you want to book with Dave Swift, I've got these appointment types available and it's going to sync back and forth to my calendar. But what if you've got a team and everybody on your team actually can take appointments? Maybe you've got a sales team. Well, this tool is going to be great for that. You can go ahead and create your team right down here. I've already created mine. I called it Client Amp. And then inside of that, I can add my own appointment types. So first of all, Client Amp itself has their own booking page. We can see what this looks like. Here is the booking page. I've only got one appointment type. I did add in the video here. So if I had multiple appointment types, I can just list them out right here. It's like kind of like a menu for people to choose what type of service they want to schedule. And of course, you can click on any of these and then just go ahead and book an appointment. Now, here it's not going to book specifically with me. Instead, it will book with whoever is available at that time. Yeah, so back over in the admin view, you can see these are my appointment types that I've got set up, a discovery call. But if I wanted to add a new one in, I just go back to this add new link button, choose client amp this time, my team, and now I can choose between a collective invite and a round robin invite. So what's the difference here? Well, let's start with round robin invite. This is essentially just scheduling at a particular time, and then it's going to pair you with whatever staff member is available at that time. So it says best for distributing sales leads. So let's say I'm a lead and I want to have a meeting at 2 o'clock on Thursday. It's going to pair me up with whatever salesperson is available at that time. It's not going to let me choose a specific staff member. Versus a collective invite, which says co-host meetings where all selected team members are available. Best for panel interviews and group sales calls. So here we're going to have multiple people joining the call at the same time. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and create another appointment here because everything is essentially exactly the same. You set up your location, you set up your custom URL, except this way it is not tied to a specific person. Instead, it's tied to the team. So that's how team booking works in ZCal. I think it's a really powerful feature, and I'm surprised it's included in every single tier. So that is ZCal, a very competent and highly usable Calendly replacement. Really, there's only 3 things I'd like to see them add support for. One of them is CNAMEs or custom domains. So that way you could have your own domain name and basically make this look like it's entirely your own platform. I think that looks really professional, and I like to do that as much as possible. So if they made that a feature available even only on tier 3, I think it would encourage a lot of people to upgrade to it. Number 2 is payment options. Currently they support Stripe, which is good. That's probably my number 1 choice as well, but I'd love to see some other options. I know here in the States that PayPal is something that a lot of people use. Personally, I don't like using it, but it's so popular that I feel like options would be good here. And I know overseas there's other payment providers that people need support for. So yeah, just more options for payments would be a good thing. And finally, I would love to see support for the Web Calendar Access Protocol. That is an open internet standard. A lot of people use it who are not on Google or Outlook. So adding support for that would go a long way in my book. Okay, I'm gonna give you my final score in a moment, but before I do, I just wanna ask that if you've enjoyed this video, you click that like button to help this channel grow. It really helps a lot. So ZCal, what do I think of it? Well, it's a very, very competent booking tool. I definitely wouldn't hesitate to recommend this. I think it's one of the best LTDs for appointment scheduling that I've ever tried. It's very, very good, very similar to ZCal. It kind of just comes down to taste at this point, whether you prefer ZCal or ZCal. If you want more of a visual interface, which I do think would convert very well, then you go with ZCal. If you want more of a traditional kind of Calendly look, well, then ZCal has that nailed. So use that as your deciding factor. I'm gonna go ahead and give ZCal the same score I gave ZCal, an 8.7, both excellent tools. So that's gonna do it for this video. If you wanna support the channel, I've got my AppSumo link down below. Hit me up with any questions in the comments, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another LTD review. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.